that thing comes up.
This is my ex-brother-in-law, Andrew Benincasa. This is his artwork. And if you scroll back on his page, he wrote this post about me years ago. And I just want to talk about this for a minute. I haven't seen my daughter in 6 years. She lives 20 minutes away. I work full time and I pay my ex child support, but I can't afford to fight them in family court. So they got full custody right before her 5th birthday, and they have not let me see her at all since then. I fought really hard to try to be in her life, but I couldn't afford to fight them in family court. I don't have a lot of money, and they're multimillionaires, so they just blew me out of the water in family court. They annihilated me. There was nothing I could really do, and my ex was using the family court system as a weapon to try to destroy me. I don't know why exactly we didn't get along so great, but I never even heard of this stuff before I went through it myself. Like, I didn't know anything about our family court system. I didn't know anything about this stuff, so I went into it blindly and self-represented, and because I didn't have any money for a lawyer. So because of that, if you know anything about family court, I was completely bowled over. And they took my daughter. She was right before her 5th birthday, and we haven't seen each other since she was 5, and on Tuesday she'll be 11. And so this is what Andrew Benincasa, my ex-brother-in-law, had to say about all that. He said, "Hi friends, I haven't been public about this on social media before, but a big part of my life over the last 4 years has been that I and my family have been victims of a campaign of constant harassment, gaslighting, and abuse. I'm writing about it now because the abuser has recently been escalating and focusing her attacks on me and my girlfriend and reaching out to my followers." Okay, first of all, my talking about how they use the family court system to attack me and take my child, that's not a campaign of abuse. A campaign of abuse is spending $200,000 attacking someone in family court and taking their child. My talking about it is not abuse. What they're doing to my daughter and I is torture and child abuse and domestic violence and a lot of things. And I'm not alone by talking about it. There's thousands of other people doing the same thing because this system is really, really corrupt, and it has to stop. And it's really like destroying a lot of lives, especially childhoods. So that's the campaign of abuse. And then he says that the abuser, he's talking about me, escalated by focusing her attacks. When he says attacks, he means me trying to contact his girlfriend and tell her that not letting my daughter and I have any contact with each other is abusive, and it's really hurting her, and trying to just educate her about parental alienation and family court corruption and maternal separation trauma. Those aren't attacks. I was just, that is just, it was a cry for help and begging her to stop participating in hurting my child. So then he says, my brother left his wife, Suzanne Cutler, that's me, 4 years ago because she was both physically and emotionally abusive. No, I wasn't. And what could possibly be more physically and emotionally abusive than ripping a small child out of the arms of their mother by spending $200,000 in family court to have agents of the state rip her out of my arms and make it illegal for us to go near each other? This is all just domestic violence. That's what it is. It's using the court as a weapon. And also, would you believe a man would you believe a woman, I should say, if they said that someone was physically, emotionally abusive, but they had zero proof? Because there is no proof because it never happened. But just interesting how people believe men but don't believe women.
And I just want to say something here. I'm Suzanne's longtime partner. We've been in a relationship for many years now. I am disabled. She's been my full-time caretaker. I have a form of muscular dystrophy. And I did not know Suzanne and her ex-husband when they were married, so I can't really talk about their relationship, but I can talk about Suzanne. And in the 8+ years that not 8 years, it'll be 8 years this August, almost 8 years that I've known her, she's never been physically or emotionally abusive to me. So, him describing her this way is a total opposite of the woman that I know and love.
Thanks, babe.
I can't believe that a person gets switched that much. They always say people don't change their colors, and Suzanne's one of the most sweetest, loving people that I've ever met in my life. She's a phenomenal partner. She's a great caretaker, warm and compassionate, and I cannot believe what he says, that was physically abusive. I've never seen that in my life with her.
Thanks, babe. And also, I just want to say there's like no proof of that, so that's also kind of suspicious. But anyway, let me move on because this is really long. They have a daughter, an amazing little girl who I'm lucky to be an uncle of. A blank blank. That's my daughter Ava. I don't know why he wrote it that way. Yeah, I have a daughter. I gave birth to her and I nursed her, and I mothered her until she was 5 years old, and then they ripped her out of my arms, and she was a wonderful little girl, that's for sure. And they took credit. They didn't want me to get any credit for how wonderful my daughter was. So they just took her, and they said it had nothing to do with me, and in fact I was abusive and couldn't have any contact with her. So during the first year of their separation, Suzanne took their daughter. My brother pushed for shared custody, but Suzanne refused, and after a year of this, he got the courts involved. That's all lies. I didn't take her. I had a fight with my husband at the time. We were living with his parents, and I took my daughter. She was 2.5, and she was still nursing. Her and I came to my parents' house, which 20 minutes away. But he was always welcome. I never threatened to take her. I never threatened to move or did any of that, like they call it bitter baby mama stuff. I like when you threaten and say you'll never see your kids again, and I never did any of that stuff. There was none of that at all. In fact, I really pushed for a peaceful and civil co-parenting relationship. Like the whole first year of our separation, he was attacking me in court, and I was saying, no, we don't have to have the courts involved. First of all, that's ridiculous because I have no money, and your dad's a multimillionaire, so obviously you will annihilate me in court. And I just didn't. Also, I had a small child, and I had no money, so there was just I didn't know anything about our family court system. I didn't think this could happen unless you were a really bad mom, and they proved that you were a crackhead and proved that you were physically and emotionally or whatever. If they prove that you were abusive, but that's not true. You don't need proof in family court. It's well known that perjury is accepted in family court, and false allegations and $200,000 was all he needed. He never proved anything because there was never any abuse or neglect. So, and then he says after a year of this, he got the courts involved. Like I said, no, he got the courts involved right away. And it really was at his mother's behest. She wanted full custody of my daughter because she wanted to raise her. And she wanted to have control and ownership of her and he just, I don't know why he did it, but that's what happened. And, Andy's lying by saying what he's saying, but I'll go on. This whole thing, where is that? Hold on.